Good morning, everyone, and happy Thursday. Are you good? What we want this is what I want you to do now, okay? On your chat box, I want you to write a word that describes your morning. Okay? I'm going to give you 1 minute to do it. Okay, so we have Lawrence. He says he is happy and blessed. All right, same with Rhea. Okay, how about others? We have Eliza, Cheska, Chriselle, Ivan May, Jamaica. We have Happy, okay, from Marjeline and Cheska. Okay, that's good to know. Micah says wonderful. It's a wonderful way to start my day. And Ivan May says she's feeling great. Okay, good. Right? So we only have yes, that's right. Grateful. All right. So you see, we only have one more day and then we are going to have Friday again and it's the weekend, right? Time runs really fast. And I'm so glad to know that everyone is feeling happy and positive. Okay. Now, before we start our class, I would like you to put yourselves in the presence of the Lord and let us watch this short video together. Okay, I know that things have been so challenging, right, nowadays. Okay, feel, God's embrace, right, despite our situation. There you go. So I hope that now all of you are, feeling more happy, right? Feeling happier and recharged. Okay, so before I present today's lesson, I would like you to watch a short video. Okay, let us watch this together, and later I will be asking you one question about it. Okay, so that's it. All right, now, Drucker, I would like you to tell me if you were able to relate to that seed in the video that we just watched. Okay, so you can you can type your answer on the chat box. Okay, you may say yes if you were able to relate to that seed in the video, and I'm going to call one student to share his or her thoughts. All right, you can do it now. Okay, again, Drucker, you can type yes if you were able to relate to that seed in the video that we watched. Okay, so we have Rhea May, yes. Who else? Eliza, Jamaica, John Ronald. All right, it's good to know that all of you, okay, or most of you, were able to relate to that seed. Okay, but now I want to know why. Okay, so let us hear from uh, Kareel. Okay, Kareel, could you please share your thoughts? Well, thank you for sharing, Kareel. I know that it's a little bit hard to recall that kind of situation, but what I am happy about is that you realize that despite what happened, you managed to survive, like just like the seed in the video, right? I'm pretty sure that if I'm going to ask all of you, you have some stories to share that all of us can relate, right? But well, unfortunately, that's not the topic that we're going to discuss today. Okay, but I would like you to keep this okay in mind, right, as we begin our day and as we continue living, right, in with the situation that we have now. Everything seems to be very difficult and impossible, but always keep in mind that once the seed of faith takes root, it cannot be blown away even by the strongest wind, right? So we all have different battles, we have different challenges. Okay, I'm sure all of you have also your share of difficulties in your studies, but if you're going to put faith, right, in everything you do, I'm sure that you will not be blown away even by the strongest wind. Okay, so now we are going to go to our lesson. Okay, so I hope that you're all ready. And when okay. By the way, before we begin, I would like you to know how you can share your thoughts or your answers. You may use our chat box. You can unmute your microphone, or yes, you can, yeah, just simply unmute your microphone if there is no one talking. That way, it'll be easier for us to, have our discussion and we will not feel that we are just talking to the screen, right? Okay. I would like you to type yes if your microphone is working, and I would like you to type no if you have problem with your microphone, so that when I call your name, when I ask you to read something, I will have an idea if you can or cannot do it. Okay, so please do it. Type yes if your microphone is working well, and type no if you have a problem with your microphone. Okay, so I can see people who are typing yes. We have Rhea, Jamaica, Ivan, Micah, Ariel. So Chriselle says no. Okay, who else? All right, there you go. Okay, well, it appears most of you have working microphones. So Geraldine says no. So we only have two so far. Okay, so now if I call your name to read something or maybe to share your thoughts, then try to unmute your mic. Okay, I think it will be easier and it'll be more fun because I am going to hear your voice. And those who said no, you can use the chat box. Hey, don't worry, I'm not gonna call you when I need someone to read something. Okay, on our lesson today. Okay, so let's start. I have another video that I would like you to watch. Okay, so here we go. So for today's lesson, right, we are going to have this most essential learning competency. Explain critical reading as a form of reasoning. Now, I want you to read today's objectives, Marjeline. Okay, thank you, Marjeline. So I want you to take note of these things after this session. You should be able to understand completely what's the difference between reading and critical reading. And of course, you should be familiar with different techniques that you can apply your critical reading skills for you to be able to come up with, good reasons, right, in your arguments or in your stand about different issues. Okay, now let us have here. Okay, I have here an activity that I would like you to do. Okay, so I will be showing you a short video, and then I want you to take note, okay, of the following questions because these are the questions that you are going to answer later on, right? The number one, we have which direction does the egg roll? And explain your answer. Number two, did you get the correct answer? Why or why not?
A rooster is on the roof of a barn facing. Here's a brain teaser. A rooster is on the roof of a barn facing east. The wind is blowing to the west at 10 miles per hour. The rooster lays an egg. Which direction does the egg roll? If you want, you can pause the video and think it over.
Okay, there you go. So that's it. Now let's go back to the questions that you are going to answer. There you go. So the first question is, which direction does the egg roll? And the second one is, did you get the correct answer? Why or why not? All right. Now I want everybody to use the chat box and then tell me which direction do you think the egg rolls. So does it go to the left or to the right? Okay, you can use the chat box, type your answer, and if you want to see the text, here it is. So, all right, some of you says no, no, none, right, east, right, none. Roosters, Micah says roosters do not lay eggs. Marjeline says no. Okay, there you go. And then now it's good that you have different answers, okay, to this question. Okay, I just want to hear, okay, the reasons of those people, okay, who have given, okay, we have John Ronald first, east, so it goes to the right direction, right? John Ronald, could you unmute your microphone, please? And then could you tell us why you think the egg goes to the right? Okay, thank you, Ronald. So, John considered this information, right? The direction of the wind. Okay, so thank you. And what about, oh, here, the first one, yes, Micah. Micah says none. All right. Why do you say none, Micah? Okay. So because roosters do not lay eggs. Okay. Now let's continue watching the video, and then will have again more questions to ask right here. So these are the questions you're gonna answer later. And let me share again that video.
The answer? There is no egg. The rooster didn't lay one because roosters are male. Did you get it right? Let's pick this apart and see why many people have difficulty with this brain teaser and so many others. First, it's easy to overlook details or accept them without questioning. In this brain teaser, the answer could be found in the second word, rooster. In hindsight, we realize it's impossible for roosters to lay eggs, but it's easy to overlook when it's mentioned casually in the brain teaser. Another process at work in this brain teaser is misdirection. There were several details included that we may have paid too much attention to. The fact that the rooster was facing east, and that the wind was blowing west at 10 miles per hour. In the end, these details had nothing to do with the actual answer, but because they seemed important in the context of the brain teaser, they directed us away from the relevant information. The same techniques used to solve brain teasers can also be applied to real-world situations. When you're trying to figure something out, it's important to analyze the information that's available to you. Are there any key details I may be missing? Am I being misled by something? Could I be thinking about this in another way? Brain teasers not only help to keep your mind sharp, but they can help improve your critical thinking skills as well. Let's finish things off with another brain teaser.
Okay, so that's it. Now, going back to the questions I showed you earlier, okay, the first one says, why do people have some difficulty getting the right answer? Right? You see, when I showed you that video, all of you have different answers. Okay, and why do you think there are some who still miss, okay, or who still fail to get the right answer? Yes. What about you, Jamaica? Do you have an idea? Oh, here. So we have Eliza. She says, because some people jump to conclusions, right? So that is one. Okay. What else? What else? Who can give another reason? Okay. People just make conclusions right away, right? Without considering the details. Okay? And Junabel says, because of the misleading details. Okay. This is a good one, right? If you're not going to be careful, then you might be what? Misled, okay, because of the details if you're not going to be critical about them. Kareel says there are some words used to mislead and make the readers confused, okay, or make the readers, be confused about the text. Okay, so thank you very much for sharing your thoughts, right? So now I think you already have an idea about the topic that we're going to be talking about today, right? So, it's one of an important skill that every student must learn, right? For you to be able to avoid, okay, the situation that we experience while we were watching the video, and when I ask you to answer the questions, okay, about the video that we watched. All right, now before we begin with the discussion, I would like you to do this activity because we will need these important terms in our discussion. So for our vocabulary activity, I want you to identify the word being defined in each sentence. So I will be showing the definition, and somebody will read the sentence and identify the word that is being defined. All right, in each number. So for number one, this involves the objective analysis and evaluation of an issue in order to form a judgment. So I want you to do number one. Cheska, read the sentence and identify the word that is being defined. Cheska, are you there? Okay, well, yeah, Cheska, I think you have to unmute your microphone first before you start reading. So, Lawrence, what is the word that's being defined here? Involving the objective analysis and evaluation of an issue in order to form a judgment. Thinking. Okay,
Critical.
well, yeah, so it's only critical. That's right. Okay, so everyone, critical means involving the objective analysis and evaluation of an issue in order to make judgment. So let's have the next one. Second definition, to study or examine something in detail in order to understand or explain it. Okay, correct. So the word is analyze. When you analyze something, you have to what? Examine carefully. Examine your text or whatever material you have in detail in order for you to come up with a good explanation. All right, number three. Number three is to think carefully about something before making a judgment about its value, importance, or quality. So let's have Rayame for number three. Okay, that is correct. So it means to think carefully about something before making judgment, right? About the value or importance or quality of something. So it could be a material that you are reading, a text that you are reading. Okay, it could be an issue. Okay, for number four, we have a fact, situation, or intention that explains why something happened, why someone did something, and why something is true. So let's have Ronald. Yes, Ronald.
Po.
Okay, the correct answer is reason, right? Reason, that is a fact, situation, or intention that explains why something exists, why something happened, or why someone did something, or why something is true. Okay, and the last word. Okay, so I think we have already completed all those words. Okay, so I want you to take note of them and remember because they are very important in our discussion today. Okay, so for the next part, I want you to look at these three words on your screen. We have reading, critical reading, and reasoning. So, is there anyone here who can share what he or she knows about these words? Right? For example, reading, of course, reading is a very familiar word, right? You hear it almost I think every day, right? Often in your classes, right? And what about critical reading and reasoning? What do you think is the difference between or among those words? Anyone? Okay, you can use the chat box if you have an idea, just type it, and then I'm going to be calling some students to share what their thoughts are. So Let's start with Rhea. Okay. Yes. Thank you, Rhea, for giving me that answer. Well, actually, you have a good idea, okay, about the topic that we're gonna be discussing today, right? Critical reading as a form of reasoning. So let me show you, okay, these definitions. For number one, we have reading. Could you read it, Eliza? Okay, can you continue reading, please? We have critical reading and reasoning. Yes, Eliza, go ahead. Okay, thank you very much. Yes, so you can see all the definitions of those three words that I presented, right? So what else do you see? Okay, what is common among those three words? Anyone? Yeah, what is common among those three words? Okay, this time you really have to look at the details in the definitions that I have given you for you to come up with an answer. So Junabel says understanding the information. So that is right. Okay, that is the goal why we read. Okay, what else? Look at their definition. So what's common about them? Take a look. Take a closer look at the definitions. Okay, very good, Sean. Right. So we have process. Right. You know that reading. Okay, reading is an active process. This is something that I want you to keep in mind. It's a process, meaning it involves different steps in order for you to get the results that you want. Right? Now, when you read, okay, your goal is to recognize the meaning of words, okay, for you to understand what the text says. Okay? When you read critically, you go beyond what the text is saying, right? So that is why it involves more complex processes, right? It involves analyzing, interpreting, and evaluating the text that you are reading. And sometimes you need to make judgments about what you are reading. Okay? So when you give your reasoning, so you can see this arrow here. I put this here because for you to be able to come up with a good reason, okay, with a good judgment, you should be applying all these skills, right? It's the process of thinking about something in an intelligent, sensible way. Now, what do we mean by intelligent and sensible way? Okay, do you just have to read your text and then tell the, you have just to identify who the characters are in the text that you are reading? Okay, is your goal to answer just the WH questions, right? So is not necessarily done that way, right? So we have to what? Make decisions or form our opinion or judgment, okay, after we read a specific text. Okay, now for you to understand it better, let's take a look at this table here. That shows difference between reading and critical reading. Okay, so here you can see that when it comes to the purpose, they have different purpose. The first one is to just get the basic grasp. Okay, just have to understand what the text says, right? What it says, but with the critical reading, your goal is not just to simply understand what it says, but how it works. Okay? And what a text does and what the text means. All right? And for you to be able to, let's say, come up or form with your opinion, you need to not just simply what understand or absorb the meaning. Okay, you have to really analyze, carefully scrutinize the information that you read. All right, you need to ask several questions in order for you to come up with a good judgment. Okay, so simply put, when you do critical reading, you don't simply focus on the text on the surface level. You need to go beyond, right? So how can we do that? You can ask yourselves these questions. Okay, for critical reading, okay, these are the questions that you can ask yourself. How does the text work? How is it argued? Right? What are the choices made? Okay, what kind of reasoning and evidences are used, especially if you are reading a persuasive text, right? If you are reading an argumentative text, are the reasons good enough? Okay, are they convincing enough? Okay, what are the assumptions of the writer? Okay, and what does the text mean? Okay, but when you know when you read, all you have to yeah, so just have to remember these things. Reading sounds easy, right? But critical reading is also easier if you're going to understand, okay, the process. If you know how to do it properly, right? And for you to have an idea, let me show you some techniques, right, that can help you improve your critical reading skills, right? And critical thinking skills. So the first one is you have to keep a reading journal, right? You have to write your feelings and ideas in reaction to your reading assignment. So, for example, if your teacher gives you a reading assignment, what most students do is that they're going to get the text and just, read, scan, and skim, right? First, page one, page two, up to the last page. And then after reading, they would try to answer the questions based on what they understand. Okay, that is a good way to do it. Okay, if you are confident about your skills, right? If you do not have problems understanding the words or understanding the complex ideas and structures of sentences in your reading. Okay, but there are some ways on how you can do it, right? You can record your understanding to see if you really understood what you've read. So that reading journal could be any notebooks that you have at home. Just have to record your feelings about what you read. How does it affect you? And what kind of ideas do you have? Just write them down. So there is no right or wrong way to do it. Your goal is to record and to check later on. Okay, if your idea changes, for example, when you read it the first time, you write your ideas and your feelings. You read it the second time, and you are going to write again. Okay, and then you're going to compare if there are some changes, right? Or if there is improvement. Okay, so this one is, I think, a very cool, right? An easy way to start improving your critical thinking and critical reading skills. Now, the second one is annotate the text. Would you read it, please, Ivan May? All right. Thank you so much, Ivan May. So, annotate the text. Have you heard of this word before? Annotate. Yes or no? I want to see. Write your answer on the chat box. Mm-hmm. Annotate yes or no. If you annotate every time you read, I want you to type yes. If you do not annotate, then type no. Yeah, I just want to have an idea if you are familiar, if you're doing this or not. Okay, so it's good. All right, I can see many people saying yes. Now I want you to share your ways are real. How do you usually annotate? For example, when you have a reading assignment, how do you annotate? Or what are the things that you usually write on your copy? Underlining the keywords. Eliza says she underlines the keywords and important words. Okay, what else? What about you? Jamaica. You use a scratch paper too, right? Write something? What do you write? Okay, thank you, Jamaica. So in her case, she does not use the paper itself. She gets another paper, separate sheet of paper, and she writes all the words or the details. So Rhea says, I highlight some important words and give small explanations or short explanations. And Geraldine says, identify the main idea. Okay, so it's good because you have an idea what annotation is. But what I want you to remember is it is more than just highlighting the unfamiliar words or underlining the main ideas. Those are good and those are true. However, you can do more than that. Okay? So the notes that you write on the copy definitely does not mean that you just have to write your answer on your module, right? It's not it's not done that way. So you have to what? Make notes. You can write your questions about the author. Is there a particular part of the reading material that you do not understand? Okay. Is there a particular part, is there a part of the text that you are reading that you find confusing? Then you can write marginal notes. Okay. How do you do that? In your, let's say, text. Okay. You can write here in the margin. Okay. You do not worry if you think that you're going to ruin the paper, right, that you are holding. It's okay. Okay, because your goal is to what? Carefully examine your text in order for you to understand it. That is your way of interacting with the text and the author, right? So, is for example, in the introduction of the text that you are reading, you don't understand the purpose of the author. So in the margin, you can write, what does the author mean? Okay. Why did he say that? Blah, blah, whatever it is that you're reading, right? So that's how you annotate your text. Write your notes, you can question your comments and even your reaction. If you are reading a persuasive text and you do not understand with the idea that's presented, then you can say, I do not agree with this. All right. But of course, later on, you need to go back. After you finish reading everything, you're going to go back to the questions because you are the one who's going to figure the answers out, right? Yeah, you will be, it might involve, okay, researching about the part that you do not understand for for you to be able to also understand the point of the writer. Okay, but if you are really not convinced, okay, then you have to express and also you have to create your reasons for disapproving, right? For not agreeing, okay, with what you read. Okay? So that is why this is very important. Annotation. This is going to be very useful in your senior high school life, especially in your um well, not just actually in your English classes, but all your classes. Right, next. Number three is outline the text. Write thesis statements, claims, and evidence to see how the writer structures, sequences, and connects his or her ideas. Well, this one is very familiar, right? Outlining is not just done in writing. It can also be used when you are reading your text, right? What's the purpose of this? For you to be able to easily understand, right, the order, the organization of ideas. So you have to find the thesis statement and the claims. If you are reading an essay, you have to get the main idea as well as the supporting details. That way, it will be easy for you to what to understand and to check if you really understood the text. Okay, so you can use bullets. You can write your claim or the main idea here, and then you can write your supporting details using bullets. It's up to you what you want to use. You can be creative, right? There are so many ways on how you can do your outline in a creative manner. And number four is summarizing. This one is similar to outlining, except that you don't have to use bullets, right? And you can just create one short paragraph explaining the gist or the main points as well as the supporting details of the essay or the text that you are reading. Okay. Now, it's sounds really easy. Okay, if you're going to think about it, but the process might be a little challenging, but that will only happen in the beginning. Okay, but if you're going to keep practicing, then it'll be easier. So try to do it whenever you read something. Try to create your own summary to check if you understand the text. Right. The fifth one is question the text. Ask specific questions on points you are skeptical about. Is there any part of the reading text that you are doubtful about, right? And you do not agree with? Then you can write your questions. Those questions I presented earlier, those are only some of the examples. Yeah, you can ask as many questions as you want, right? You can write as many questions as you want, okay? Because your goal is to really understand what you are reading. Okay, so that's it. These are the different ways on how you can question the author. Number one, what type of audience is addressed? What are the writer's assumptions? What are the writer's intentions? How convincing is the evidence presented? How reliable are the sources? Are they based on personal experience, scientific data, or outside authorities? Did the writer address opposing views about the issue? And is the writer persuasive in his or her perspective? So these can be used in reading argumentative or persuasive texts, right? Now, those are the level of questioning, right? That you need to apply if you want to become a critical reader. Now, if you are able to question and get answers or answer those questions, then you will be able to form good judgment and good reasoning. Okay? You will be very confident expressing your understanding about the material that you read because you did not just read in the surface level, right? You did not just answer who is the character in the story, right? You were able to really what scrutinize. Okay, if there's a part in the text that you do not agree with, or yeah, you can express it. Okay, but you will be able to defend your stand, right? You will not just say that. I think the writer is good. Why do you say that? Because he is able to present his ideas very well, and I understand his views. Okay, it's okay if you, uh, go against his ideas, right? Because when you do critical reading, you really have to scrutinize, especially in the part that is not convincing enough for you, right? Or especially in the parts that you are skeptical about, or maybe in the parts that you are not well convinced enough. Okay, so that's it. Do you have questions? Do you understand? All right, very good. So now let's check. Okay, now I want to check if you really understood what I said. So I have here okay, a text that I would like you to examine. Okay, this time you really have to be critical in reading and examining the information that you see from the surface level up to the structure, okay, of the text. So here, you have to read and examine if it's believable or not. Write your reasons for your answers. So I'll be showing it to you, and here on the chat box, I want you to write yes if it's believable and no if it's not believable, and then provide a brief reason, okay, or explanation why you think this is not believable. Okay, I'm going to read it, and then uh, you start typing your answer. You have one new message. You received a text message from an unknown number that says, "Congrats from President Noynoy Aquino Foundation for Peace Pantawid Pamilyang Filipinong Program. Your SIM number 1, 950,000 pesos second prize winner. Andog Pangkabuhayan Raffle Promo. DTI permit number 9513, series 13. Please send your bank account number and password. I'm Laika Ramirez. Thank you." Okay, there. So start typing. If you think that's believable, you type yes. If you think it's not believable, type no. And then write your short reason. Rhea says no. Okay, write your reason. If you write yes or no, you have to write your reason. Or maybe I can call, yeah, Rhea, just unmute the mic so that it'll be faster. Why do you say no, it's not believable? Okay,
Tapos,
so meaning, Rhea, there is an issue with, okay, that is correct. So on the surface, right, if you're going to examine it in the surface level, you will see that there are some issues in capitalization. What else? Appropriate spelling, right? What else? John Ronald says not believable because it's if that comes from the government, it should have a process. Okay, good point. Junabel says the informal construction of the text. That is right. Junabel, why do you say that this is informal? Junabel has no microphone, so we need to wait for her answer. Yeah, why do you say that it's the informal construction? So while waiting for her, capitalization and the grammar, right? You look at the spelling, okay, and yeah, some words are shortened, right? Like this one, please. What else? No, because there is no evidence. Okay, capitalization, it's from an unknown number, and maybe it's a scam, right? I'm pretty sure that you're all familiar with this type of message, but you know what? Even if it's a scam, a lot of people still get victimized by this kind of message. Why do you think so? Why do you think a lot of people still, become victims of this kind of message? Okay, Kenny, would you like to share your thoughts about it? Yeah. Why do you think a lot of people still believe, right? And there are still a lot of people who become victims of this kind of scam? Junabel says because they do not have enough knowledge about the scam texts, right? So that is one. There is no, because when money talks, everybody listens. Yes, wow. Right. So that is a good way to put it. Ronell, right? When money talks, sometimes we forget to analyze, right? So you see, probably some people, when they see the amount of money, they what? Tend to forget, okay, to examine the content of the message, right? And what if you are the one who receives this kind of message? What would you do? What would you do for you to become for you not to become the victim of the sender of this message? Okay, so Ivan May says ignore. So just ignore it. All right. Ignore the text and block the number. All right. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Or maybe if you want to know if this kind of promo, okay, exists, then you can check online, right? You can check if this is really accurate, right? But definitely do not give your bank account number and password. Okay, now let's have the second one. Okay, good job everyone for sharing your answer. Now for our next activity, I want you to tell whether the statement is a fact or an opinion. If it is a fact, choose F and then briefly explain how it can be proven. Otherwise, write O and briefly explain why you think it cannot be proven. Okay, so I'm going to read each statement and you have to write F and O. If you write F, okay, it means that um, the statement is a fact and you have to explain how it can be proven, right? How can you prove that it's a fact? So I am going to call you late. I'm going to call students later, right after you give your answers. Okay, are you ready, Drucker? So let's have the first one. Vitamin C and D can help cure COVID-19. Is it an F or an O? Mm-hmm. Type F if it's a fact, and O if you think it's an opinion. Okay, Jamaica says O, Cheska, O. Right, how about others? Eliza, Cheska, Rochelle, Geraldine, Ronald, Penny, Lawrence, Marceline. Okay, there you go. So we have O, O, O. Now, I want to hear your Ronald. Why do you think it's an opinion? And why do you think it cannot be proven? Okay, Eliza says, oh, because there is no supplements if vitamin C and D can cure COVID-19. Okay, meaning, Eliza, there is no enough evidence, right, that vitamin C and D can cure COVID 19. Okay, now, if you are going to justify your opinion, okay, or your answer that this one is an opinion, where would you get the information that you will use to support your answer? Would you say that, oh, it's an okay, very good, Rhea, medical articles or medical journals, right? You need to read, okay, because you need to form your reason for giving that kind of answer, right? You will not say, "Oh, I think it's an opinion." Why? Oh, well, I just feel that it's an opinion, okay? Or maybe I saw it on Facebook, so I think it's not believable enough, right? So you need to give strong support, right? Strong support, strong reason, okay, to back your answer up, right? And next, number two, COVID 19 virus can only kill old people. Is it a fact or an opinion? So Junabel says, opinion because COVID 19 can kill everyone. So many of you also say that it's an opinion. But yes, how are you going to prove it? Where can you get your information again? Okay. How are you going to strengthen your reason for saying that this is just an opinion? So, Junabel, you said that it can kill everyone. So, if you're going to say that, okay, what if I would question you? How do you know that it can kill everyone? What is your evidence? So, how would you defend your answer, Junabel? Because the Department of Health and our government tell us that to be safe, not just the old people. Okay, so that is one way of doing it, strengthening your reasons. You need to what? Cite, okay, reliable sources. Okay, you will not just say that I just feel that it's really dangerous and it can kill a lot of people, not just the old ones. You can even use specific number, right? Statistics, okay, to strengthen your reason. Okay, so that's good. And let's have the third one. Wearing masks and face shield can help stop the spread of the virus. Is it a fact or an opinion? Okay, you can type your answers now as well as your reasons. Ronald says it's an opinion. Jessica says oh as well. Okay, what about others? Wearing masks and face shield can help stop the spread of the virus. Okay, what about Lawrence? Lawrence, would you share your thoughts about this slowly? So do you agree? Do you agree with this that it can help stop the spread? And all right, okay. So you see, that is Lawrence's idea. So in his case, now he is now becoming critical with the use of words, right? Stop and lessen are two different things. Okay. Now, if you say that, of course, if you say that it can help lessen the spread of the virus, then again, you need to what? Back your statement up with what specific evidence. Okay, why do you think that it does not really stop the spread? It only lessens. So what do you need to give in order for your statement to become believable? Lawrence, what kind of information do you think you can use, to supplement that answer that you have given in order to strengthen your your reason, okay? You can check what? Reliable sources of information. So in that case, if your opinion is to it only lessens, right? Then you need to provide what? Numbers. Okay? You need to provide numbers in order to show, okay? That it only lessens and it does not completely stop, right? And you can you can explain more, Okay, so let's have the next one. Number four, community pantry reflects government's incompetence. Okay, please, everyone, I would like you to type your answer. Okay, try to participate because we need to check if you understand, right, what we are discussing today. So, oh, Janabel, Ronald says, oh, okay, Cheska, oh. Okay, again, it's an opinion. And could you tell us your reason, Eliza? For the statement, community pantry reflects government's incompetence, right? All of you think that it's just an opinion. Why? Eliza, can you share your thoughts? Mm-hmm. How about you, Kareel? So it has nothing to do with the government's competence, right? And why do you think so when you watch the news? Right? You know what? If you're going to listen to the news, if you're going to read the news and the differing opinions of people on social media, if you're not going to be careful, right, you will easily believe what you see. Okay, so the sad thing is that uh, the platform, well, whatever platform we're using to get information, we do not really feel happy, right? Because we are getting information. Most of the time, we feel stressed and tired, right? Because of those things that we read online. Now, if we're not going to be careful, then yeah, you will become victims of the chaotic environment of those platforms that we are using, right, in getting information. So anyway, that's it, right? You if when you say that community pantry does not reflect government's incompetence, okay, because the organizers did it willingly. They did it because they wanted to help, all right, and you can still provide some good reasons why you think that uh, it does not really reflect the incompetence of the government. And there are just some people who are expressing their thoughts about it because they tend to blame the government because they are unsatisfied, or probably they are not aware of what is really going on, or probably it's the other way around, right? So just have to make it sure that you can really provide good reasons. All right, number five, COVID-19 vaccines can cause more harm than good. Okay, is it a fact or an opinion? Mm-hmm. Reyes says O, Cheska O, Janabel O. Okay, and what about you, Kenny? What do you think about this? COVID-19 vaccines can cause more harm than good. Is it a fact or an opinion? Mm-hmm. Yes, Kenny, are you there? While we're waiting for Kenny, you can also write yes, other students can write their thoughts and answers on the chat box. So you said it's an opinion. Yes, why Ronald? How about you, Ronald? What do you think? Okay, yeah. Cheska says based on experts and WHO, you can get more assurance if you get vaccinated, right? Yeah. So here, so Cheska is trying to cite what reliable sources of information, right? Such as the World Health Organization, or maybe, yeah, some medical experts. Okay, so that's it. That is how you form your reasons. You have to what give specific evidence. Okay, you can cite reliable sources, and again, before you can come up with good reasons, you need to also examine the text that you are reading. Okay, do you have questions? Any questions? All right, so here we have another answer. Okay, because vaccine helps to protect us against COVID-19, but but vaccines have side effects. Okay, well, in that case, Eliza, you think it's an opinion because you believe that it helps us, right? It protects us from COVID. Okay, but you mentioned that there is a side effect. So you have two contrasting ideas about it. Right now, you have to also explain, right, why if you say that there are side effects, then you also need to also provide specific details about about that. Okay, what kind of side effects and where did you get that kind of information? Okay, and what are the common side effects, and are they really should people be worried about those side effects? Okay, those are the things that you can consider, when before you give your reasons. All right? Read something critically and think critically for you to come up with solid, right? And strong reasons and evidence. Now, I would like you to read this question here. What's critical reading and why do you think it's important? Okay. What is critical reading and why do you think it is important? So I want you to explain it based on your own understanding of what we discussed today. Okay. Use the chat box or maybe I can call while others are typing. I'm going to be calling some students to share their thoughts. Okay. Let's have Ronel. Ronel, would you like to share your answer? What's critical reading and why is it important? You can unmute your microphone first before you speak. Okay. Well, let's have another student. I think Ronel is having trouble with his mic, or maybe he's trying to organize his ideas first. What about you, Micah? Are you ready? Can you share your thoughts? Okay, so somebody sent a message. Not yet ready. Okay, how about you, Lawrence? So it's important. Critical reading is important because, okay, yes. So you can say, Lawrence, if you're going to practice critical reading, then you will be able to enhance your critical thinking skills, right? In order for you to understand more complex texts, right? Yeah, that is true. Okay. As a senior high school student, you really have to develop those skills, right? Because that's the only way for you to be able to have a deeper understanding, deeper grasps of the materials that you are reading. Okay, and we have here Eliza. Uh, it's important to read that critical reading. It's critical reading is important to evaluate the strength of the evidence and the argument. Yes, that's right. Okay, you also need to be what? Critical about about the information that you see. You don't easily believe and accept everything without really checking, right? Without checking the facts, without scrutinizing the information that's given by the writer. And Junabel says, critical reading is a process of analyzing and evaluating the text. It helps to deepen our understanding and strengthen our thoughts, not to conclude easily. Okay, so you have explained it, yes, clearly, right? And perfectly. Okay, Ronell says the importance of critical reading is to assess the strength of the evidence and the argument. Okay, well, I am happy with what I read from you, and I hope that all of you have the same, you know, appreciation and understanding of the importance of critical reading. And I want you to remember this. Critical reading involves critical thinking. They work together, they work hand in hand. One is not possible without the other, right? But if you're going to do critical reading, you are also enhancing your critical thinking. So this allows you to go beyond the text and make careful evaluations based on reasons and evidences, not based on emotions, right? And not based on, yes, opinions. Okay. So that's it. Now we're going to have another activity. Okay, I would like you to go to this site. So please, I'm going to type it W. So for the first one, you have to go to this site www.gimkit.com. Okay, you can just go there and then choose a live game. You will enter the code and then you're going to read the statement or each statement carefully. So there are six statements there. You just have to write yay or yay if you agree with the statement. Otherwise, write nay or nay. Okay, I will repeat. Go to this site, gimkit.com, and you're going to enter the code that I'm going to show you. And then you have to read the statement, right? Yay, yay, if you agree, and nay or nay if you do not agree. Okay, hold on. I'm going to just share it. So this is going to be an individual game, right? Because I want to see your scores individually. So for each correct number or correct answer, you are going to be earning, okay, money, right? But that money cannot be used for buying something, okay? So you will just have your virtual money that you can use to play some games, right? That and for every incorrect answer, you will. Okay, so right now, while I am sharing this, I want you to go to this website w.gimkit.com. You don't need to log in. You just have to click game live and please enter the code 53777. Okay? You can look at the screen now. I am sharing with you. Yes, I'm sharing with you the code. So just enter that and then you can, and if all the players get in, we can start the game. Okay, so we have Rhea and Junabel, Micah. Okay, what about others? Jamaica, Cheska, Lawrence, Karil. Okay, Ivan May. We're still waiting for the others to join. So this is one of the problems that we encounter sometimes. Yeah, we get disconnected. Okay, can you hear me well? So we have 11 players now. So I'm going to start the game. Those who have not entered yet, you can still enter and you can still join. Okay, but of course, you need to hurry because you have only 3 minutes to answer all the questions. So after this, we are going to review your scores. Okay, so let's get started. So we have, okay, our third placer is Geraldine with $141, Junabel with $260, and the top player is Rhea May with $303. So congratulations. Great job. And if you want to see your scores there, the rest of the class, you can see the amount of money you've earned in this activity. Okay, and now let's view your scores. Okay, I'm going to, yeah, share it with you. There, do you see it? Oh, here. So you can see the scores. You can see your scores, right? Um, Wow, Geraldine has 100 I mean has 13 correct answers. Okay, so all these numbers in green show the number of correct answers you got. While the ones in red um, represent your incorrect answers. So far we have Geraldine who got 100%. Jamaica also has 100%. Oh, Junabel is really quick, right? So 20 correct answers. And Kenny also got all the correct answers. Rhea, okay, good job. Okay, well, yeah, so I think everyone did a very good job in answering those questions. Okay, so do you have questions, Drucker? Yes, any questions? None? Okay, okay, well, it's it's a good time, right? I had fun talking to you today. And well, next class you're going to well, I want you to study about evaluative statements, right? And then be ready because that's what we're going to talk about next class. Okay, so thank you very much, Drucker. See you again next week. Remember that you are loved and you are special. So keep growing, stay safe and healthy. All right, thank you so much for your time today. Enjoy the rest of the day, and I hope that you're going to have fun in all your classes this week. Okay, so take care. Goodbye. Yes, you're
Thank you
welcome.
po.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you po.
Yes, you're welcome. Thank you
Thank
as
you
well.
po.